Hello and welcome. You're watching To The Point. Has Rakesh Maria been treated badly by the Maharashtra government? Or despite its seemingly contradictory behavior, does the government have a convincing explanation for the way it's removed him? As this issue becomes a controversy with widespread implications for Mumbai and its police force, we address this question in part 2. But first, the Election Commission this afternoon announced the dates for the Bihar elections. It's a 5-phase poll starting on October the 12th, with the counting on the 8th of November. So now, as the campaign gets underway, we ask, how does the balance between the two major alliances stand? Do both have critical infirmities, or is there a favourable wind that could push one alliance past the finishing line? In part 1, we present the first of many discussions on the Bihar elections. But first, a recap of what the Election Commission announced this afternoon.
The stage is set for the most high-stakes political battle of this year. The poll panel has announced dates for an election that could redefine the politics in Bihar, one of the most crucial states. The election to the 243 seats will be held in 5 phases from October 12th to November 5th. The results will be out on 8th of November, just 3 days before Diwali. So whose Diwali will this be?
सीट के प्रति कितने आश्वस्त हैं? उसके बारे में हम सोचते भी नहीं है, समझ गए ना?
Chief Minister Nitish Kumar is seeking a third straight term in office, facing off with his former ally, the BJP. This time, Nitish has aligned with Lalu's RJD and the Congress. Mulayam stunned them by walking out of the poll arrangement just days ago.
लेकिन निर्णय तो उनको लेना है. अगर उन्होंने कोई निर्णय ले लिया है, तो ये उनका निर्णय. उसके लिए हम लोगों को उसके आगे कुछ नहीं करना.
The Nitish Kumar camp faces two big challenges: anti-incumbency of 25 years and the charisma of Modi. Since the BJP hasn't announced a CM candidate and has relied almost entirely on the Prime Minister's image, this has been seen as a direct fight between Nitish and Modi. The BJP is reaching out to Dalits and non-Yadav OBCs, but at the same time projecting Narendra Modi as the mascot of development. On the other hand, the Nitish-Lalu combine is relying on more traditional Mandal politics. That's why many see this as a defining election between the old and the new politics.
ये मामूली चुनाव नहीं है. इस चुनाव से पूरे भारत भर में भाजपा की सरकार का उल्टा गिनती शुरू हो जाएगा.
Battle lines for Bihar have been drawn. The Mahadalit vote bank, which was instrumental for Nitish Kumar's big victories in 2005 and 2010, seems to have shifted with Jitan Ram Manjhi joining the NDA.
बहुत सरल होगा. NDA की सरकार बनेगी.
The Bihar polls have been billed as a must-win for the BJP if it is to restore the political momentum in favour of the Modi government. And it's equally a high-stakes battle for Nitish and Lalu. Congress alone seems to be fighting a relevance battle, but who knows if the results may throw up a surprise. Bureau Report for India Today.
Now joined by JDU MP Pavan Verma, BJP National Spokesperson Sambit Patra and the well-known independent journalist Ajit Jha. Pavan Verma, paradoxically, both alliances are having problems with their allies as this critical election approaches. In your case, you've broken with the Nationalist Congress Party and, more importantly, with the Samajwadi Party. And now, most recently of all, RJD's Taslimuddin is showing signs of disaffection as well. Would you accept that with just over a month to the voting, these are worrying signs?
Karan, I don't think so. I think contrary to what was the expectation in the BJP camp, who first said that we will never come together, then they said if we come together we will not have a seat adjustment, who then said that if we do have it we won't have a chief ministerial candidate. We finished all this well in time. Now within any grand coalition there are the occasional hiccups. There will be one MLA who will say something, or there may be a party like the Samajwadi Party, which was to be not a part of the coalition in Bihar, but was part of a proposed merger of the Janta Parivar, but outside the coalition. They said that they are
you were offering them 5 seats.
I don't believe.
Don't forget, you gave them 5 seats. They wanted 12, so they were definitely part of the coalition.
It was. No, they were not part of the coalition, but they said that they would like some seats as part of the coalition. And I think in a gesture of
not part of the coalition, but they want seats as part of the coalition.
No, no, they were saying that we would be happy if we are also given seats as part of the coalition. But Karan, this is a historical, this is a fact that I'm telling you.
Okay.
That the coalition was between the RJD, the Congress and the JDU.
What about the NCP?
Of which the Samajwadi Party was not a part, but the NCP was.
And they left
there
you
you are right. We had offered them 3 seats. We had offered them only 3 seats. They felt that they should have got more. But I believe that these are hiccups on the periphery of what is today a solidly grounded and consolidated coalition.
Okay. Let me put the same to you, Sambit Patra. In your case, you seem to have problems with Jatin Rahmanji, who's not only demanding more seats than you're prepared to give him, but he's now also quarrelling with Ramvilas Paswan over who is the real leader of the Dalits. And worse still, for all you know, his emissaries may be flirting on the side with Lalu Yadav. Now, if this continues, your allies are going to cost you votes and credibility. They're not going to strengthen your hands.
Karan, rest assured, we have seen as to how we have moved together. In fact, as far as Paswanji and Bharatiya Janata Party is concerned, this alliance dates back to the Lok Sabha election, so it is a strong bond. As far as as far as Majhi is concerned, look, Mr. Majhi has been treated in a way which was quite appalling by Nitish Kumar and Mr. Lalu Prasad Yadav, and that's the reason as to why Mr. Majhi is out to expose the real face of JDU and
just
RJD.
a moment. Don't
so
talk about JDU. Talk about the fact that you can't agree to a seat arrangement at the moment with either Mr. Paswan or Mr. Kushwaha or Jitin Rahmanji.
Let me tell you, Karan. Let me tell you, Karan, as far as the seat sharing issue is concerned, we are having meetings and the ultimate call would be taken by the parliamentary board of the Bharatiya Janata Party and the NDA combined together. So definitely let us wait for the parliamentary board to convene and for them to decide.
And you've got conflicting demands being made by your allies, and those are going to be a problem.
It would be taken at the right time. It would be taken at right time, but let me tell you, our marriage is not a marriage of convenience.
You've got 32 days
it is a marriage for development. No. So what? So what? I mean, look, the ones, I'll give you an example over here. The Samajwadi Party, as you were rightly pointing out, they were given 5 seats by the so-called alliance, which was so-called the
talk about your own problems. Don't deflect by talking about theirs. They are here to talk about their own.
I'll give you. Karan, hear me out. Karan, hear me out on this. The important issue is you give 5 seats to the Samajwadi Party and then they say, no, we are not together. We are not together to fight against the communal agenda. Give us more seats, only then we will fight against communal agenda.
Wait till you get the same response from Jitin Rahmanji. You try and give him less than what he's asking. He'll probably leave you too.
Are they weighing their ideology on number of seats?
All right.
It only shows that theirs is a marriage of convenience and ours is a conglomeration for development.
Love affair. Yours is a love affair, but remember, love affairs often end in divorce. Ajit Jha, how serious and worrying are these problems that both alliances are almost simultaneously experiencing? Does it mean that the alliances are not as united as they ought to be and as they perhaps seem on the surface? And does it also mean, therefore, that they won't be as effective as they could otherwise have been?
Absolutely, Karan. In fact, both the alliances are what you would say an opportunistic alliance. They have been made last moment. In fact, previously, Jitan Ram Majhi had called the BJP on record as a snake. In fact, he pointed out that it is very difficult to make the choice between Nitish Kumar and...
Unfortunately, that was used by the other side about each other as well, wasn't it?
Absolutely. And if you look at the other alliance, for example, the Lalu Yadav Nitish Kumar alliance, they were enemies up till so long. Nitish Kumar's entire politics was based on an anti-Congressism platform. For 17 years he was with the BJP, and now they have come together on the grounds of what they call a secular alliance. But both the alliances on ground are actually very, very opportunistic. They are not campaigning together. In fact, until now, there's not a single poster where you see Lalu and Nitish together. So the fact that AAP is actually supporting Nitish Kumar but not Lalu Yadav and the Congress.
And that annoys the Congress hugely. In fact, Pavan Verma, worse still from your point of view is that the Samajwadi Party and the Nationalist Congress Party now seem to be getting ready to form an alliance of their own. Tariq Anwar today has said they are going to launch a third front. And to add to your problems, Asaduddin Owaisi will be fielding his own candidates. So the Muslim vote that you hope you'll be able to attract, and it's a sizable 16% of the state vote, not only will be badly fractured, but you might end up getting a very small share of it.
I think, Karan, that assessment is so wide off the mark that I really need to say to you that if you think the Muslim vote is going to get fractured because of Mr. Owaisuddin, I don't believe that will happen, nor will the vote share of the OBCs, the EBCs.
Have you forgotten what he did in Maharashtra?
In my view.
Have you forgotten what he did in Maharashtra?
But I am saying to you, no, I am saying to you that in Bihar, it's unlikely that it will happen, but it's your assessment versus mine. I am free to put forward my assessment. Secondly, I want to say to you that as far as other parties like the NCP or the Samajwadi Party, it's a democracy, they can always fight independently or together. I want to make a central point to you that the critical mass of the alliance, which is RJD, JDU and the Congress, 100 seats and 40 seats, 240 seats, has been announced and has not been nibbled at or in any way eroded. It's an important point to note. In fact, I want to say one thing to you, Karan, and I'll take 20 seconds only. At the rally at the Gandhi Maidan, which in my view was both unprecedented and historic, people did not come as part of three different camps. I was in Patna on the streets. Workers of all three parties mingled together and were raising slogans in favor of each other's leaders. And also they came trudging by foot or by any transport they could get, the poor and those who were come from the more oppressed classes from all across Bihar.
But you're forgetting something, that the poor in India always come trudging by foot. It's not an exception or remarkable that they do.
No,
that's the state the poor live in.
I know in the case of some rallies, I know in the case of some rallies how much is paid in terms of incentives for people to attend outside the
And of course money never changed hands as far as the JDU is concerned. Such a terrible thought never even occurred to you.
I certainly can say to you money power is not in evidence.
Not in evidence. That's very different to not being there.
Comparison.
Not in evidence is different to not being there.
You can, as I say, Karan, let me explain to you. If I wish we had the money.
I bet you do.
And in the case of the BJP, I wish their money was not so much flaunted. I wish it was not flaunted in. But I want to make one point only
quickly,
last
because you said you take 20
Why
seconds.
Has the BJP delayed? Why has the 10 seconds? Why has the BJP delayed its seat adjustments? Because they've done it as part of deliberate strategy to do it at the last minute, to give their allies no time or options.
Let me bring in the BJP on that point, because the problem. Let me bring in the BJP at that point. Sambit Patra, I'm going to put you a different issue to the one Pavan has raised, although Pavan's is a pretty critical one as well. The point is, you have serious disaffection, not just with your allies, but within your own ranks as a party. Shatrughan Sinha has now openly said that the PM's criticism of Nitish Kumar's DNA was avoidable. That in fact he stands by his claim, which he's repeated, that Nitish is one of the best chief ministers in the country, something the BJP finds very hard to accept. And finally, he's still publicly questioning why you don't have a chief ministerial candidate of your own. He doesn't believe it makes sense to fight the Bihar elections with Mr. Modi as the face. So you've got serious disaffection within your own ranks, and it comes from Shatrughan Sinha, one of your most powerful MPs in Bihar, and a former member of Atal Bihari Vajpayee's cabinet.
Now, Karan, allow me some time to answer all these questions. Number one, I can see right now over here that Pavan Verma ji is quite agitated about the fact that the seat sharing is not taking place in Bharatiya Janata Party and the alliance is unhappy. Now, if our alliances are unhappy, just a second, sir, you may be happy about this. I mean, if they are unhappy, if our alliance are not happy about the kind of behavior we are meting out for them, you should be happy. Why should you be questioning us? That there is a sense of discomfort in your camp only implies that the strategy the Bharatiya Janata Party and the NDA partners are taking in.
I asked you about Shatrughan Sinha. I asked you about Shatrughan Sinha. How about answering that?
Karan, I will answer about Shatrughan Sinha. Also, you asked Pawan Verma some questions. He answered them piecemeal 20 seconds. I am going to answer them piecemeal as well. So I mean to say, our strategy of the whole issue is a rightful one, and that's the reason as to why we can see the opposition camp jittery and nervous. Secondly, as far as your question of what Shatrughan Sinha is speaking about issues
you
of
haven't made it
No, let him finish now, Pawan Verma. He's coming on to Shatrughan Sinha. We've been waiting peacefully for that. Go on. Come to Shatrughan Sinha. Don't let Pawan deflect you from the more embarrassing issue.
Pawan, Karan, if Shatrughan Sinha ji has said something...
Not if, he has. There's no if.
Important leaders of JDU. Karan, either you speak or I speak, or allow Pawan to speak. If you don't want me to speak, I have no issues.
Oh, I want you to speak very much. At the moment, your voice is music to my ears.
Yes, then allow me. Then allow me to speak. You don't have to interject every 5 seconds. First and foremost, if Shatrughan Sinha has spoken something about Bharatiya Janata Party, we will look after it. But the major issue is 12 to 13 important leaders of JDU and RJD have crossed over to the other
that
side.
is not an answer to Shatrughan Sinha. Hang on a second. Hang on a second. No, I am going to interrupt because you're once again not answering that question. Shatrughan Sinha has publicly said that to have referred critically to Nitish Kumar's DNA was an avoidable mistake. He's criticizing Mr. Modi. He's also praising Nitish as one of the best chief ministers in the country, and he's questioning your strategy of not having a chief ministerial candidate.
As an individual, let me tell, he has not criticized, let me tell you, Mr. Shatrughan Sinha has not criticized Mr. Modi at any point of time.
Hang on a second, to say that it was avoidable is not a compliment. To say that it was avoidable is not a compliment.
No. I don't need to buy compliments from him, but the most important essence that I want to get from here is, number one, whatever Mr. Shatrughan Sinha as a senior leader may be saying, but contrary to his sayings, people are seeing that Nitish Kumar and RJD combination is a sinking ship, and that's the reason as to why people are shifting from that ship towards the shore, and the shore is Bharatiya Janata Party.
Let me bring you in, Ajit Jha. Do you get the feeling that the problem of choosing a face or a leader is going to become a bigger problem for the BJP than perhaps it is even at the moment? Because it's not just Shatrughan Sinha who's brought it up, and he repeated it again last night, but it's also C.P. Thakur, it's Sushil Kumar Modi, and if you look at their allies, Kushwaha's party has passed a formal resolution demanding he should be the CM candidate. So this issue could snowball and get bigger rather than fade away.
Well, first of all, Karan, the BJP's main base of support in Bihar are the upper castes. So the big fight is going to be whether the BJP is going to have an upper caste candidate like Rudy or Ravi Shankar Prasad, or is it going to be a Mandal chief minister like one from the backward caste, Sushil Modi or Nand Kishore Yadav. That is a call on which the BJP has to really take a stand, and it hasn't been clear on that entire issue. The whole support, as I said, is coming from the upper castes. It is trying to get into the OBC vote, but it's not very clear whether they want a OBC chief minister, a Muslim chief minister, or an upper caste.
So if this issue remains unresolved right through the length of the campaign, will it actually weaken the BJP? Because there will be then within its ranks unresolved problems that will only be festering rather than fructifying.
I think so to some extent, because what the BJP is playing on is Narendra Modi versus Nitish Kumar. Now everyone knows Narendra Modi is not going to be the chief minister of Bihar. Okay. So they obviously have to put up a candidate, someone who's as tall as Nitish Kumar.
Very quickly, Pawan Verma, the biggest challenge you face is that what you're offering Bihar is a repeat of the past, whereas Mr. Modi arguably offers a fresh start. Why should Bihar want more of the past, particularly Lalu?
Very quickly. If Mr. Narendra Modi, after 14 months of absence, was offering anything new, apart from repeating the slogan of Vikas or development, even I in the opposition would welcome it. Whereas Mr. Nitish Kumar on the other side has not only said that this development so far will be consolidated, but he has given a finely worked out blueprint of where Bihar will be in the next 10 years, with budgetary allocations made for the programs he has. So it's a solid visionary document, and he has a track record to show that he can implement it. On the other hand,
I'm going to stop you there. No, I'm going to stop you there. On the other hand, will answer for themselves. On the other hand, Sambit Patra, the shine and gloss has gone off the Modi government. What's now left is a certain growing measure of disappointment. As a result of which many people now say, you're not going to get a majority on your own. The best will be a government with your allies, which will be vulnerable to their disaffection, and that vulnerability could affect you in Delhi as well. So the roses, as far as you're concerned, are shedding petals. They're not blossoming and blooming.
In fact, I could not get your question very correctly because my sound system has a problem. But what I can guess is your question is that we are going to form the government with the help of our alliances. That's what I think you're going to ask me.
No.
I was actually suggesting that the gloss has gone off and that your government, even if it gets formed, will be vulnerable. That's what I was saying, and that vulnerability will affect you in Delhi.
I've got the question now. Yes. I've got the question now, let me answer you. Now let's compare between the two alliances.
No, we're not comparing between the two alliances, Sambit Patra. If you're going to deflect again, I'm going to stop you. I asked you a specific question about your government if you form one. Get to that.
You never interject.
I interjected a lot with Pawan, but I didn't need to interject as much because he was answering.
No,
you're not answering.
I get your question. Let me answer. Let me answer. If you are saying that the gloss has gone over the Modi government in the last 14 months, and that's the reason as to why we may not perform well, then it's absolutely wrong. Because number one, people want the accountancy of the 25 years of rule by the JDU, RJD combined first. People know that the country has performed well in these last 14 months. Secondly, look at the Nitish's rallies. In most of the rallies, Nitish Kumar has not tried to showcase his developmental agenda. If he had development, then he would have showcased that. He has talked of DNA.
If you're not prepared to, then I'm going to stop you because I don't think it's fair that we should start a new feud between the two of you right at the end of the show. I know it's election time. I know you're rivals and I know you prefer countering each other rather than answering me, but I'm not going to permit it again. I want to ask you one simple question. It's an awkward question, it's a difficult question, it's a journalistic question, and it's probably being asked too early. But is there any way you can sense today which way the wind is blowing between the two alliances?
Well, as you rightly said, it is very early. But at the same time, let me point out one thing. The BJP has historically never won Bihar, ever, except in alliance with Nitish Kumar. But in this election, the BJP clearly seems on the offensive. Nitish Kumar...
So does that mean the wind is behind them?
Well, it certainly looks as if the anti-incumbency vote against the last 25 years of the Janta Parivar is in favor of the BJP.
So if you were a betting man,
talk to anyone,
if you were a betting man, would you put your money on the BJP's chances?
Well, it's too early to say because, as you said rightly, the election campaign hasn't started. But at this moment, the BJP has an advantage in the election campaign between the
All right,
the two
Ajit,
sides.
let's leave it there. At this moment, it has an advantage, but this moment is still some 32 days away from the first voting and almost 2 months before the counting starts, and it could change fairly dramatically between now and the 8th of November. My thanks to both my guests. My apologies for the fact they were quarrelling. They're actually good friends with each other, but as party spokesman and rival, quarrelling is what you're going to see as we get closer and closer. And you can see that both of them are smiling because they know that they're doing a job professionally and they're doing it very well. Time for a break. But then, has Rakesh Maria been treated badly by the Maharashtra government? Or is there a method in its madness, if one can use that colloquial phrase?